Talk Chelsea now. They made more than they spent in the summer. So will they continue to spend in January? And that's the question to you, Carve. What do you think their strategy will be?
Well, I think Chelsea are working really hard on signings, but not for January.
Okay.
They're focusing on preparing, signings for the summer of next year and also the summer of 2027. I know some Chelsea fans want the club to sign a new goalkeeper. That's not going to happen in January. Some Chelsea fans want them to sign another centre-back. That's not going to happen in January. Some fans want them to sign another defensive midfielder because Romeo Lavia is injured a lot of the time. Dario Isugo, who came in this summer, is out injured as well. A lot has been asked of Moises Caicedo, but Chelsea are not going to be signing a defensive midfielder this January either. I think a club the size of Chelsea, their business is really focused on summer windows. So I would expect it to be pretty quiet, but I think they're going to have a big summer next summer and also summer 2027.
You mentioned Moises Caicedo. There's a case for him to be arguably the best midfielder in the world right now. I mean, he's just... I mean, I don't want to say it's a one-man team because it certainly isn't, but he's really starting for Chelsea right now, isn't he?
Well, I was there Friday, and he's such a kind of clever player in that he covers the ground, covers the picture. You know, there's a picture forming, and he kind of gets himself in the middle of it, so that whatever you're trying to create as the opposing team, he kind of snuffs it out. So that's his art. He's efficient with the ball. His relationship with Hernandez, obviously a World Cup winner, is terrific. I think, Chelsea are very, very strong in that particular area. I don't see them strengthening or looking to strengthen there. And the one beauty of Caicedo is that he's always available. He's hardly ever not playing. So that's a great benefit to a team to have a player who's always there. I remember at Crystal Palace, Will Zaha was never injured. He's always getting fouled and brought down, but he's always available. And the importance of that, not just for the team, but for results, is massive. So he's been an unbelievably great signing for Chelsea, and very much in the top kind of that pivot player, that number 6, the top 3-4 in the world for sure.
We do have an update on him actually this evening. There's been talk that he may be getting a new Chelsea contract to reward him for his performances. My understanding of the situation is that his contract already, basically Chelsea, I think, have him tied down until 2033. So they're not going to be... They're not...
Quite the distance, isn't it?
There's nothing wrong with 8-year contracts.
Exactly. I don't know why...
Is that what you're on here?
He got one at...
I remember.
That sounds short to me.
7 years, wasn't it?
He's still getting paid by Newcastle.
Yeah.
Has that run out now, the Newcastle?
It's still going. No, it's ongoing.
No, but seriously, just go back to Moises Caicedo. He won't, I think, be getting a new Chelsea contract because he's contracted until 2033. But I think what is going to happen behind the scenes in private is that the terms of his present deal are going to be improved. I think...
But that's a new contract then?
It's not a new contract.
It's not an extra length.
I think it'll be a pay rise.
It's an improved contract.
But he won't be actually signing a new deal with new terms. It will just be
extra money in the bank account.
Yeah, we're going to recognise the fact that you've been playing so well, so we're going to give you a pay rise.
Isn't that the right way to do it?
We're not going to announce it. It's not going to be done in public. It's something that will be done privately.
I don't think that's possible. I think the length of the contract can not change. That's okay. But I think the improved terms.
But Chelsea do have these. They do have these contracts that are sort of heavily incentivised. So the players are actually on relatively low base wages compared to other clubs the size of Chelsea. But if you play well and you perform, then you're rewarded. And I think Chelsea's position is that, of course, he's playing fantastically well and we've got a great relationship with him and his representatives. So, of course, we're going to reward him. But we don't want to have the whole song and dance of announcing that we're going to be giving him a new contract.
It might have been in his contract originally that if you...
But Palmer signed a new deal, right?
Performances,
Palmer signed a new deal,
but it's not
on the back of a long contract. But the point being that I think the Chelsea model makes sense to me because they're signing a lot of young players And if you are successful, then we will renegotiate. And I think that's probably the message sent to the training ground. If you want to play like Caicedo, you want to play like Palmer, then you'll get rewarded.
Just on Caicedo very quickly, has it been even more impressive that we're not talking about his transfer fee at all anymore? It seems to be the same case with Declan Rice as well. These two players have performed so well, and yet there was so much talk about £100 million plus that they paid for these players at the time, and we don't hear anything about their transfer fees anymore. If anything, would it be fair to say that both of those players, even though they cost 105 and 115 million pounds respectively, they have actually increased their transfer value now?
Well, possibly, but it just goes to show you the importance of that pivot role in modern football. It is so important, and Rodri, obviously a Ballon d'Or holder at the moment, is because it releases fullbacks. It can release a centre back if that player is good enough to sit and do that job, plus be able to pass, be able to read the game. And that's why the value of those guys is so important and so much.
Interesting to see what's going to happen with Axel Disasi, because obviously he's been training away from the team, hasn't he? So do you think he'll move in January? What's happening there, Carve?
You know what? I think there's a way back for Axel Disasi now. He was a member of this infamous Chelsea bomb squad last summer, training away from the first team squad. He's been training on his own or training with Raheem Sterling this season. But then on Saturday, he actually captained the Chelsea under-21 side. I think they were playing against Reading. And our information this evening is that he's likely to return to training with the Chelsea first team squad as well. And I think between now and January, he may also play again for the first team. Now, does that mean that he's got a long-term future at Chelsea? I don't think so. I still think it's likely that he's going to leave in January. I think the reason he's going to return to the first team is not because he's got a future necessarily at Chelsea. It's more to get him playing and also to put him in the shop window as well. But obviously behind the scenes, he's been doing something that's impressed Chelsea, because not only did he play for the under-21s, but he captained them, and now we're led to believe that he'll be back in the first team picture as well.
I mean, 11 goals, I think that's more than anyone in the top six at the moment. So you felt when they had João Pedro and they signed Liam Delap as well, that they found that number 9, and Pedro's had a relatively decent start. Obviously, Delap has picked up a card and a couple of injuries, so you can't analyse him either. They've probably got the best midfielder in the league in Caicedo at the moment. But it's a team, like you said, are they going to be competing for the title? Probably not. But
they'll be. They can win it?
No, I don't. I think that inconsistency or that odd result that they can pick up, I don't think they'll be competing for the title. But then I think they'll certainly be in the top 4.
And also, we can debate the merits of the Club World Cup, and had this argument with Carve when he was sat on with me last night, but that they have won a competition which has included beating Paris Saint-Germain in the final, which is no easy feat, is that in a knockout competition, you would see them as a threat. As you said, maybe the consistency for 38 games, but with a fair win and a decent draw in the Champions League, they might be quite dangerous.
Yeah.
A, he's missing Palmer, which is his most important player. And B, every summer, particularly those wide forward positions, the manager seems to get 4 or 5 new options to try, and it must take a few months to get what he thinks is probably his best front 4.
Yeah, for sure. I think Enzo Maresca, we devastated that Cole Palmer's been out for a long time and picks up these injuries, because he is their star player. It's a player who scored 15 Premier League goals last season, 22 the season before. So 37 Premier League goals in the last 2 seasons. That's hard to replace, no matter who you are, no matter what team you are. So it's frustrating for the player himself. It's frustrating for the team. It's frustrating for us as England supporters as well, because he's a real talented footballer. But to see them scoring so many as well, if they sorted the defensive side out a little bit, then their star player Cole Palmer returns. Who knows where it is? Although I'm saying that I can't see him being consistent enough to win the Premier League. If he came back and had a consistent run, got back to the form we know, he can win games on his own. We know that. And with Pedro, with the lap potentially playing second fiddle at the moment to Pedro, they've almost got that number 9 that's been such a curse for them over the years.
Talking of players who can win games on their own as well, Estevao is another one that maybe some Chelsea fans who would like to see him even more than they are. You wonder how careful Enzo Maresca feels he needs to be with it, a teenager making his way in the Premier League, or whether you sort of subscribe to the, if he's good enough, just chuck him in as regularly as you can.
Yeah, I speak a lot to the European experts, Kevin Atchard, Andy Brissell, Tim Vickery as well, who worked who've seen him closely when he was young. I think this is a player that signed for Nike when he was 10, by the way. That's how highly thought of he's been. Made his debut for Palmeiras at 16 and a half. And he's already shown he is a superstar in the making already. And yes, Chelsea supporters will want to see him week in, week out. But in such a tough league, in such a demanding league, you have to get the balance right with players like this. Because we've seen it before with English players that the stardom soon goes as well, if the love of the game goes. But I think Enzo Maresca at the moment is playing him right. He's got a big enough squad to allow him to have rests when needs be, but when he comes on, the impact he can make as well. I'm really excited to see how far this player can go.